What's up, guys? TheMainManSWE here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and welcome back to me. Where have I been? A long YouTube break, it seems. I think I haven't uploaded in like 40 plus days. I can't remember the last time that happened. That was quite a while ago. Although I've been a couple of breaks like this year. I don't know. I think I've had trouble with motivation here and there, but I've reclaimed a huge passion for Tekken. And I'm gonna get into that in this video. We're gonna discuss a lot of topics. I played some Dota too as well. But I have a huge library of content coming up. I've been streaming a lot when I've been gone from YouTube. So I hope you're still hungry for content from me. There's a lot of it upcoming. And I do want to thank all of the subscribers. Like, I'm closing in on 200k subscribers on YouTube, 100k followers on Twitch, and it's simply unbelievable. Certainly a dream come true for me. I couldn't have ever seen this happening, so big thanks to everyone. And I'm gonna start this video. It could be a little bit of an awkward note, but it really isn't. I'm just gonna mention the fact that me and my ex, so that's the mother of my son, we separated well over a year ago, and everyone's doing great. We tried to make it work, but it was for the better that we separated, and everyone's doing great. And the reason I'm mentioning it right now is because this has been for over a year, I think. I've been open about it on my stream, but I've never mentioned it on my YouTube. And it's like, you know, it's a personal matter. And when it happened, you know, it's difficult on its own. And I was like, you know, maybe some content creators would make a video about it, like I've separated, or they make a tweet about it. But I felt like, man, that feels really weird to do that, at least for me personally. So I was like, okay, how do I do it? And I, you know, open about it on my Twitch, but never mentioned it here on this platform on YouTube. But I feel like it's inevitable to do so. And now it's a fresh start on YouTube. I'm back after a break, so I thought I could level with you guys. You know, I like to be open and do personal videos, right? You might have seen this before, where I talk about like my biggest mistake in life, etc. And I'm about to start dating again. I do want to talk about that and the Tinder experience. Dear Lord, you know, that's a whole video. It's so fascinating. So yeah, it's worth mentioning, because otherwise it just gets weird if you watch a video of mine and I discuss, I'm gonna date, and you're like, what the hell? So I feel it was inevitable to mention it. And I love to be open about myself. I can talk about my insecurities, that's fine. But this situation involves multiple people, and my ex obviously has the right to her privacy. I'm the content creator, she's not. So I'm never going to go into details on this thing. But so I feel like I kind of had to mention it. It was inevitable. But just know that everyone is doing great. We have a great relationship, she and I, and Willem is the priority, and he's the best kid we could ever wish for. And thank you so much for the support this year. People have been very kind on my stream, to say the least. So thank you so much. So yes, now I'm going to get into more conventional stuff. We're gonna talk about Tekken, a game that seems to be now on the end of its life cycle, its lifespan. They removed the anti-piracy protection, and we haven't gotten an update in a long time. We have no word from Bandai Namco. They just released the definitive edition for 110 bucks. That's gonna get its own video. Oh boy, what were they thinking? So yes, we're not getting a season 5. We do know we're gonna get a Tekken 8. It's a no-brainer. You had that Nvidia leak, but more than that, Tekken 7 is the most successful Tekken game of all time. The ending is a cliffhanger. You don't need 2000 IQ to calculate that it's probably gonna get a sequel. So I'm basically just sitting here waiting for the announcement. I'm 36 today. Will I be 40 years old when Tekken 8 drops? It feels like it's gonna take a while. Yeah, we're just all waiting for the reveal and the official announcement of Tekken 8, and I'm just very hyped for it. As for the Tekken 7 Legacy, I do want to summarize it and talk about everything along the journey of this very successful game. I'm gonna try to do it with Arya from That Blasted Salami. He always has amazing insight. He's so articulate, he's so thoughtful. So I thought we could do that together, discuss that game. So I hope you're looking forward to that. And then I do want to talk a little bit about, during this break, I was sick for a while, nothing serious. I just get these insane colds, like everyone in my family does. I don't know what's wrong with our genetics, but when we get a cold, it knocks us out for like 2 weeks. So anyway, I was sick, and as I was sick, I'm not streaming, and on Twitch, the International, the TI, happened to be on. So that's, for those of you who don't know, that's the biggest Dota 2 event ever. You know, that's the big yearly tournament. And I'm just looking at it and I'm like, I'm so missing and I'm so mesmerized by this game. But I played, I started playing Dota in like 2005, and I played it until 2012 or 13. No, probably 2012. I dropped the game like permanently. And I was really bad at it back then, but I really liked it. And when I saw TI, I was just like, man, this game is so great to just look at. So I just tried it again. I installed it. I played for the first time in like 8-9 years. And I gotta say, to me, it's like a perfect competitive game. Almost everything about it. The presentation is good, but it's the gameplay where it really shines. Every single aspect of a game, like the depth of the mechanics, the complexity, and not needless complexity. Actually, complexity that adds to the game. And the infinite variation in like heroes, item combination, team configurations, and like the team aspect of the game. Alone, during a 40-minute match, I don't know if you think about it, but in a Dota game, how many decisions do you make in a 40-minute match? And how many decisions do the 10 players involved make all together during that 40-minute match? It's so incredible just to analyze one match of Dota, in my opinion. But if player A had done this, this, and this, would this big event, this team fight, would that have been different? Would the tower have fallen at 10 minutes if he had done that? But again, like the mechanics of the game, just the creep aspect of the game, like last hitting, denying, creep pulling, creep aggro. I don't know, it's just, again, I just have to reiterate, I'm mesmerized by Dota. It's like a perfect competitive game, in my opinion. So I kind of rediscovered the game, started playing it like crazy, and these days you have to play 100 hours of unranked before you unlock ranked battle. And that's what I wanted to do, and I was so highly motivated that I felt like I want to become a really strong Dota player. And like I always do, I look up the statistics, and it looked like your average player, so that's the 50% cutoff of the player base in ranked, is at 2.2k MMR. So that's your match-making rank. I think that's what it is, the MMR. So I was like, I'm gonna reach 3k. That puts me well above average and into, you know, skilled, certainly skilled player category, player level. So I unlocked ranked, and unranked was pretty nice. I was focusing on Kunkka. I love that pirate, and he has some technical skill, which I like. If you see my heroes or characters in Tekken, I like technical skill. And he wasn't too much. I know the hardest are Invoker, Meepo. I mean, they are by far the hardest heroes, I think. And maybe under that, you'll have Shadow Fiend, maybe Pudge. But I felt like Kunkka was a good mix between he's tanky, which makes him easier. He has high survivability, and then you have X marks the spot, a ghost ship combo, torrent, tidebringer. You know, very interesting techniques that do require some skill. So a good mix between easy and hard, in my opinion. And then Kanka shines the most in mid, so that's what the role I was trying to learn. So position 2. And I thought I was learning quickly. I'm gonna talk about the mentality I adopted for Dota that helped me with Tekken. Because I went into the game with the utmost humility, the utmost respect for the game. And I was like, just teach me. Dota, I love you. Just teach me the game. Doesn't matter to me if I lose 100 matches in a row. I'll keep grinding and I just want to learn. With every loss, I want to learn something. That's all I need. And the respect I went into also had to do with me knowing that the community is not going to be too pleasant. I remember why I quit the game the first time. And I think it was because in too many matches, and those were like random pub games, so those were unranked matches, you'd often see people say, hey, kill yourself. I still remember in Dota 1, that's when I started, you know, 2005. I still remember when I was matched with a local legend. I was just playing a random pub match and I saw a name in the match in my team, and I was like, oh wow, that's a guy a lot of people talk about. I think he was a Swede, you know, a local guy. I live in Sweden, and he was known to be really good at Dota. So I was like, oh, cool to play with him. You know, he's a name. And oh god, that match. I wasn't very good, so I dropped a lot of stuff. I was playing a support. I dropped initiations for him. I dropped a lot of stuff. And I so vividly remember him writing, just fucking kill yourself. You're fucking trash. Why'd you even fucking play this game? How are you this shit? And I'm like, well, sorry, I'm a beginner. But that's when I was like, yeah, I think I've had it with this game. Because that happened too often. It was always so disappointing. And now playing the game again, as soon as I hit ranked, that started all over again, and it was literally everyone, either through text or voice chat, and even the opposing team. Ah, easy, you suck, easy mid, fuck you, fuck you. I was sitting here like, my god, how is everyone this salty and obnoxious and childish? And it's like, you know, in the Tekken community, people like to say that I'm salty, crazy, and it's like, yeah, I do shout to myself in my room, but do you know that I've never sent hate mail? I never send people, oh, fuck you, never. I shout to myself in my room, and that's it. You know, and playing Dota, you know, I was like, I'm just the guy that's like, can we please chill? Like, stop. Let's be productive. Even on voice chat, I ended up just saying, like, can we all just relax? Like, but it's like, people don't understand that when they get that angry and emotional and you take it out on your team, it's like, for number one, you're playing way worse when you get that aggressive and idiotic. One, you're playing worse, and two, do you think you're helping your team by berating everyone? Or a poor guy who's a beginner, who's just having a hard time learning the game? Yeah, I was just astounded at the like bullying and just shit behavior all around from pretty much everyone in every ranked match I played. And I got completely demotivated or unmotivated. What's the proper word here? And people would tell me, I got coaching from legit like pros. Thankfully, they were very kind to me. It's people who like Tekken, watch my stuff, and they were like, hey, let me help you out with Dota. Very kind to me, helped me a shit ton. But they told me like, oh dude, if you think it's bad now, because I shared my thoughts with them, and they said that it only gets worse. Yes, in high level, people are even more obnoxious. And I was like, my God, you know, I don't want to keep playing this. And I was playing it at like rank number 1 and people were like this. So I was like, Jesus, I'm gonna need what? 1,000 games, 1,000 hours to reach 3K? I don't want to put up with this. And now you might probably say, and people told me, why don't you mute everyone? You can do it manually in a match, or in the options of a game, there's a permanent mute button that indefinitely mutes everyone for, you know, every game in the foreseeable future until you uncheck it in the options. But I was like, yeah, certainly I'll lose the, you know, obnoxious people. But the thing is, I want to get really good at Dota, and the team aspect is the most important aspect of Dota. You can't go at it solo. And if I can't communicate with my team and they can't communicate with me, I lose all team coordination. And then to me, it's like, well, why are you even playing the game? You know, if you want to learn, you kind of have to communicate. And I want to reach 3K, so I have to play ranked, but everyone is just terribly obnoxious. So as much as I love the game, and I really do, I just had to drop the game. And it's so heartbreaking because the game is quite perfect in my opinion. If you just look at it separate from its community, the game is so beautiful. But the problem is the people who play it. I get the sentiment that people just hate beginners. And I get the sentiment, you know how elitistic gaming communities can be, the competitive ones and online gaming. And you get this sense from Tekken pros as well, quite a bit. They just hate beginners, and everyone is a scrub. But yeah, I don't know. The Dota community, to me, it seems like they just want to close the gates. Oh, we're done now. No one else is allowed into this game. And no beginners, and they kind of want to die off with their game. It's just so puzzling to me. But yeah, the amount of salt is just, it's astounding. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about that, how amazing Dota 2 is, and how unfortunate the community is. Oh God, I've already been talking for 17 minutes. But I want to talk about a really cool thing that happened to me, an insight I got. If you remember a while ago, I made a video on how I started to cope with Tekken Ranked. I mean, if you've watched my content, you know that Tekken Ranked battle can get me pretty heated and salty. And I'm certainly not alone here. But I made a video a while ago where I said that I started to cope with it by not filtering myself, not holding back. If I felt something was annoying and cheap, I was just gonna point it out. And I was gonna, God, what's the best word for this? I was gonna unload all of my, ventilate. That's the word I was looking for. I was just gonna ventilate immediately if I felt annoyed or upset, just get it out there. And that actually helped me with ranked. I could suddenly do more hours than before, but it certainly wasn't a permanent solution because you were still getting really annoyed. But then something insane happened to me when I picked up Dota, and I mentioned that I got this really zen mentality going into the game because I respected it so much. I was like, I just want to learn. You know, I'm gonna be a goddamn monk. And it came from a genuine place. I wasn't pretending. It was like, just teach me. I have so much respect for you as a game. Just teach me. Doesn't matter the outcome if I lose. As long as I analyze, you know, and I improve during the matches. And I was really trying to improve. I was trying different things all the time. What works better in this situation? Oh, I did that wrong. I should have done this. And always questioning what I was doing. And interestingly, after 3 days of playing Dota like that, I boot up Tekken again on my stream, and I suddenly find myself, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm suddenly playing very patient, and I'm like applying the same mentality, like just teach me. And I have an insane amount of patience, and I'm very zen. And interestingly, this is immediately reflected in my stats, but usually were S plus aggressiveness, S plus rage usage, S plus combo damage. If you look at like 95% of Tekken players, this is usually what they have, because most people just play very aggressively. And I saw those change immediately into like defensive ability, agility, throw countering. So I'm more focused on defensive stats. And I played a tournament just a week after this happened, and I was beating suddenly absolute monsters. Swedish players I've respected so much, but I couldn't even touch before. I was beating them. So it was just the most incredible thing where I'm suddenly playing 2 times better because I'm more willing to fall back and block. Don't underestimate how powerful that is in Tekken. Just not being afraid of just holding back and looking at the opposing hero or character and saying, what is he doing? How do I beat this? And I just want to learn. And the matchups I've, kind of avoided before, like Kunimitsu or Zafina, I'm just sitting there like, teach me. I just want to learn this. I love you as a game, but I just want to learn everything there is to know about you, Tekken. It's still cheap. I mean, it's like Marduk's tackle is still very cheap. There's nothing wrong in admitting that. But in the end, how do I deal with it? How can I minimize the frustration? So, it was just very weird to see that happen. And as much as I've talked about this before, not being afraid of being defensive and analyzing your opponent, it was like I wasn't applying it effectively myself. I wasn't thinking really about how aggressive I was and how much I was thinking about the next vortex, the next electric, whatever, needlessly pressing buttons. And now with this mindset, I feel like I immediately have a better balance between offensive gameplay and defensive gameplay. And all of the character knowledge I've had, I actually have a lot of character knowledge. 40 of the characters in this game I have at Fujin and above. I do not only play Mishimas. And all of this knowledge I've accumulated over the years that I've used as a basis for my tier lists, it wasn't coming into play in my matches because I was attacking too much. But now that I'm blocking more, my knowledge of a cast is being utilized way more. And again, good balance between offensive gameplay and defensive. I'm suddenly doing twice as good. And during this break, when I've been playing a lot of ranked, you won't recognize me. I'm really not salting a lot anymore. And I'm winning so much more. I don't know how many rank ups I got. An enormous amount of them. And I reached 700k prowess. So it is quite incredible. And I think it would be so easy for me to tell you that don't get upset. Try to be very humble. Try to learn every match. Don't be afraid of losing. It's so easy to say that. And I think this mindset is something you will have to reach organically. I don't know if it can be forced. I couldn't force it upon myself. But it really is worth thinking about. And especially the philosophy of patience in Tekken. People are so afraid of holding back and just blocking. But that's honestly one of the most important aspects of the game that you'll see top players use. It's like, just don't be afraid of holding back around and seeing, what are my opponent's patterns? What are the patterns of his character? A matchup is always the opposing player and the opposing character. People always see it as an opposing character, but a character can be played multiple ways. And players have their own styles. So very interesting. I have a video coming soon called Kermin. Soon. It's called How to Improve at Tekken, and I talk about this mentality and I talk about the fundamentals of Tekken. I explain them all. Personally, I feel it's very worth checking out if you have plateaued or if you're looking for advice on how to improve. I'm gonna apologize right now and say that you'll hear Lucky Chloe as my dummy in the background go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, doing her idol dance. Why did they ever put that in? I have no idea. Sorry about that. I had my headphones off while recording. I didn't notice it. Sorry, but it was a really good take. I thought I explained it really well, so I hope you can survive the ultra obnoxious Chloe in the background. Should be a good video. And I've talked a lot now. Sorry, this turned into 25 minutes, but you got some of my thoughts and insights here. And upcoming on the channel, you'll see Tekken. Again, my passion for the game is relightened. English is my second language, or third maybe. I did grow up in France. La France. God, is there something else I want to mention? Right, you'll see a variety of games now. I feel much better also when I play multiple games on my stream. A lot of people seem to like the Grand Theft Auto stuff. I love Grand Theft Auto 5. First Grand Theft Auto I've played since Grand Theft Auto 1 on PC in 1997. Can you believe it? Am I the only one that didn't play Grand Theft Auto 3, etc., etc., Vice City? But I can't believe how good the game is. Certainly lives up to its hype. I'm gonna finish that. You'll see more of that, and more of a Souls game, which I love so much. You'll see more of that on my YouTube, and a variety of games. I'm really looking into trying out BioShock, gifted to me by a viewer I love so much on my Twitch. He recommended it. And Amnesia, etc., etc. So I hope you also don't mind seeing me play other games. And I'm into fitness again. That you remember me posting a lot of fitness videos last year, and then the separation happened, which is why suddenly fitness kind of went out the door for a while. But there are no excuses. You should always look after yourself, for you and the people around you. No excuses. Stay healthy. But as a fitness guru said, yeah, with fitness, sometimes life gets in the way. You get sick or something, you know, God forbid, traumatic happens. And yeah, suddenly it's like, yeah, gym suddenly isn't the priority. But I'm really back at it now. So I might do some content on that as well. I do love fitness. It's really fun and interesting. But so, oh well, I'm not gonna bore you guys anymore. That's 27 minutes, but it's really good to be back. Thanks for listening to me. And again, I hope you're ready and hungry for more content from Lord Scrapman, the main man. So take care, and I'll see you on the next video.